If you are always tired, no matter how much you sleep, today we're going to talk about exactly why that is and how you can overcome it so that you can get back to that point like when you were a little kid and had endless energy for good. Before we dive in, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Carson. I started this channel basically as a way to talk about the lessons I'm learning and the mistakes I'm making in an effort to ensure that hopefully you don't make those same mistakes and can become the best version of yourself just a little bit faster. Now, a lot of people think that tiredness is needing more sleep. But the truth is that physical tiredness is actually quite rare, and oftentimes there is a deep underlying meaning and reasoning for it, which is mental fatigue. But I mean, growing up, whenever we would talk to our parents and say like, "We're tired, I don't have that much energy, I just feel drained, I need to sleep," they would say, "Yeah, you're not sleeping enough. You need to go to bed at a better time." So it's just engraved into our brain that sleep equals recovery and no tiredness. But the truth is, it is much, much deeper than that. So, a little story time about me. Growing up, there was a time in my life, specifically my teenage years, which I feel like this happens to a lot of people, but I just started getting extremely drained. And the first place I thought to go, of course, was my sleep. Trying to optimize my sleep, so on and so forth. And I was getting like 8 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, which is more than enough. Sure, there was definitely room for improvement on the quality of sleep, but overall, like it's a good amount of sleep, and I shouldn't have been so tired. So I was confused, I was lost, and I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out why did I have such low energy? Was something wrong with me? Why could I barely go to the gym? Why were my eyes closing in class? Why was I so drained? Right when I'd get home from school, I'd be absolutely spent. Well, what I figured out is it was a few different things that were actually draining my energy, and I think this might resonate with a lot of you as well. The first one was decision fatigue, something we talked about in a previous video. But every single time that you make a decision, any sort of decision, whether it's what to try on for clothes, whether it's when you need to get out of the house to make it to school or work on time, every single decision you make leads to fatigue, and it clouds up your brain, giving you more brain fog and draining your energy. Next, overstimulation, whether that be from my phone, scrolling on social media, getting endless stimulation, going out in public, looking for attention, whatever it might be, it drains your energy because your mind is processing all of these different stimulants, all these different smells, all these different sounds, all these different emotions that you feel when scrolling on your phone and you have a happy video, a sad video, back to back to back, and you get absolutely spent. And finally, comfort. More specifically, a comfort addiction. A lot of the time we think that doing hard things is going to drain us mentally, and it might. But what studies show is that actually avoiding doing these hard tasks, leading to discomfort, actually makes you weaker and feel more drained. So it's a little bit counterintuitive to what we actually believe. Sometimes I'll be laying on the couch, even to this day, and I will just not want to get up for the life of me. But once I get up and I start moving around and doing things, I feel like I have all the energy in the world. My brain is just tricking itself to say, we're laying on the couch, it's time to relax, you're tired. There's also a chance that it's just me trying to fight through the tiredness, and since I have something I have to be doing, I don't feel as tired. Sure, that's probably a chance as well. But the fact of the matter is that most of the time when you are laying there doing nothing, you're going to feel tired because you have nothing else to do. You're feeling weak and drained. Your brain burns energy every time that you process thoughts, noises, stimulants, anything. Your brain is burning energy, making you, in turn, feel more drained. So, what I had to do to overcome this, and what you can do as well, is you have to learn to quiet your mind. There's a few simple steps that I want to talk to you about. First things first, learn how to be in control of your mind. A little while ago, and I talked about this in another video, so I'll just touch on it briefly here. But I was sitting there with my girlfriend, and I saw these little kids running around the grass, just full of energy, and it made me think back to when I was younger, and how much energy I had constantly. I was sitting there, and I was pretty drained. It was a longer day, and I was mentally and physically exhausted, it felt like. And I thought, What changed? Do kids actually have that much more energy? Or what's the difference between me a few years ago, let's say 10 years ago, versus me now? Why do I have so much less energy? And what it turns out is it's not that we actually have a drop in our energy, but we have more stressors. We think a lot more. We're a lot more in our heads. Where kids, they are only focused on the task at hand, which is typically running around and playing with their friends. We have the same amount of energy, but we are expending ours mentally, where they are expending theirs physically doing things and bettering their lives. So, you need to learn to catch yourself when you're in these thoughts, overthinking about things over and over again. Figure out what you're overthinking about and come to a conclusion about it. Make that decision because you're going to burn much more and be way worse off by sitting there thinking about it instead of making a decision and saving that energy that you would have spent thinking. So, some examples of this are going to the gym first thing. That way you don't have this decision fatigue of when can I go to the gym, when can I do this. Set out your outfit the day before so that you don't have to decide, okay, what am I going to wear? Cutting out some phone time. Phone is very stimulating. You have a lot going on. So cut out some phone time and just sit and think. Do anything else other than your phone. I don't think it gets much more draining than your phone. You don't need more rest. You need less friction. Let me say that again. You don't need more rest. You need less friction. So find ways that you can cut out friction in your life. Things that require a lot of effort and thinking. Try and cut them out. Try and make it so decisions are as easy as possible. Get into routines so you're not thinking about the next step that you have to do over and over again. If you can do some of those things, then I can promise you, you're going to start feeling a boost in your energy. Of course, sleep is still important, but for a lot of you watching this, it probably goes much, much deeper than sleep. So give it a try and hopefully it helps. For those of you who are like, okay, that sounds cool and all, but how do I actually do this in practice? How do I stay consistent with it? I'm stuck and I don't even know if it's my energy. I made a little quiz down in the description of this video. Super, super good place for you to start. It's kind of something I made that I wish I had when I first started out. It's going to help you uncover why you're stuck and how to actually break free for good. So give it a try. It takes 60 seconds, completely free, no harm, no foul. I mean, you might as well do it. It doesn't hurt anything. So give it a try and hopefully it helps you. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tomorrow for yet another video. Peace.